Hello friends, Tommy with Studio Sense here. I really appreciate you stopping by to check out today's video, and I hope maybe the title of this video intrigued you. It is a sad situation to see some of our favorite fragrances get discontinued, and CH Men Privé, CH being Carolina Herrera, is definitely one of those, along with certain limited edition releases like CH Men Grand Tour, which is a really good quality leather fragrance. But in particular, CH Men Privé was and has been many men's signature scent. So if you were one of the few that had foresight or just stocked up on a bunch of bottles, if that's what you do is you find your favorite fragrance and you buy 3 or 4, 5 or 6 bottles of it just in case, then you are lucky because you're going to be okay for quite some time. But for most of us, we have to look for quality alternatives out there. So we're going to be focusing our attention today on 10 quality alternative colognes, sort of an in lieu of CH Men Privé. So we've got that and more right after this. Welcome back, everyone. Now today we're kind of cracking the code on fragrance alternatives to the very popular CH Men Privé. Now if you're one of those out there that never got around to trying out this fragrance, then you're in luck because you don't really have anything to miss. Whether you had a friend that wore it or talked about it, you don't really have much of a frame of reference for missing the fragrance. Some of the qualities about CH Men Privé that many have enjoyed, it's a very boozy fragrance, okay? There's a top note of whiskey. Along with being a boozy fragrance, it's a leather fragrance, kind of a bad boy leather-esque type of fragrance, and some woods that it sits on top of that just makes it a fantastic smelling, wonderful oriented fragrance. So kind of a combination of some resins, whiskey, woods, cedar, and leather. And that's CH Men Privé, at least in a nutshell. It's gone. It is gone to the nethers of wherever colognes and those missing socks and pins and whatever else that we can't find have disappeared to. But we know what happened to CH Men Privé. It was discontinued by Carolina Herrera. And so many have asked the question, what are some good alternatives to CH Men Privé? These are just ones that I personally wear and that I've found that are very similar in certain ways, or at least reminiscent of. And so these 10 fragrances that we're going to be talking about today all have qualities that will remind you of CH Men Privé. And I'll kind of get into those qualities very briefly about each individual one. What about it might remind you of CH Men Privé? The first fragrance that I can recommend that if you really enjoyed CH Men Privé, you'll like this, is one from Bvlgari. It is Bvlgari Man in Black. Already many men's favorite fragrance, already many men's signature scent. It's already a great fall-oriented fragrance, a great cool weather fragrance. It does have kind of a boozy rum, spices, and some tobacco in here as well as a high-quality leather. And all of those will kind of sort of put you in mind of a CH Men Privé-like fragrance. Of course, it was crafted to be a cold weather fragrance. This would be a great replacement or alternative to CH Men Privé, Bvlgari Man in Black, either the original or the Parfum edition. There is a fragrance that's very similar to CH Men Privé. There are some reminiscent qualities about it, and it might surprise you. When you do put them side by side, there are some similarities in the scent profile, and that is Yves Saint Laurent's or YSL's La Nuit de l'Homme. Long been considered a great date night fragrance because it has a very seductive quality about it that is very similar to Dolce & Gabbana's The One EDP. This has a very high quality cardamom lavender tonka combination that breathes life into the scent profile and really is where it gets its kind of a seductive reputation from. And while there isn't a whiskey note, while there isn't a leather note, it is in that way reminiscent of CH Men Privé, which happened to also be a great date night fragrance. So if you haven't tried La Nuit de l'Homme yet, even just as a standalone fragrance, it's fantastic and it's one I recommend owning, but it also just might make a great alternative to CH Men Privé for you. Another fragrance that fits the category, at least for me, of one of those that has an addictive quality about it that I absolutely love the smell of, and it is, to me, also very reminiscent of CH Men Privé. It is a fragrance by the House of Ruckus. It is Moustache Eau de Parfum. Moustache Eau de Parfum has been compared to YSL's Tuxedo, but there is a kind of, I don't know, we'll say a woodsy, boozy combination in it that is very reminiscent without the leather note. Where this picks up and goes in the direction of a boozy leather, this goes into the direction of kind of a lightly boozy, woodsy kind of fragrance with the added darkness and richness of benzoin as a resin. And so again, just as a standalone mustache EDP, it's one of those hype beasts that you've probably heard people talk about many, many times. In this case, the hype is kind of sort of true. It is a high quality fragrance at a low price for what you're getting as an alternative to Tuxedo, as well as an alternative to CH Men Privé. Another fragrance that for me reminds me quite a bit actually of CH Men Privé, and it should really come as no surprise because it is a Carolina Herrera fragrance, is CH Men Insignia. Now Insignia is one of those limited edition releases that is typically hard to find. It is available right now at fragrancenet.com. Insignia is just a fantastic all-around masculine fragrance. It has a floral heart that it uses intelligently to bring home the scent profile, just like you're related to a distant cousin and you might look a little bit like them. That's kind of what CH Men Privé is in the Insignia scent profile. Cinnamon, saffron, rose, violet, patchouli, and there's also a little bit of oud in here. Carries a vibe, again, that will remind you very fondly of CH Men Privé. Insignia has been traditionally hard to find, so if I were you, I would grab one up while you can. All right, guys, I wanted to get the most obvious alternatives out of the way, and this one by far is probably the most obvious. That when you think of CH Men Privé, it should come to mind, not only in the name, but also in the overall scent profile and the body of the fragrance. It is Gentleman Givenchy Reserve Privé. Reserve Privé, again, is one of those that there's a lot of hype following this fragrance, and it is well deserved. It often ends up on a lot of fragrance YouTubers' fall list of best of for good reason. It is well similar to CH Men Privé. It has a very boozy opening and heart, actually. This one, however, carries notes along with the whiskey that it has. It shares some resinous qualities to CH Men Privé and its benzoin, iris, and chestnut combination. So good. It's one of those fantastic, and this too is a great fall-oriented date night fragrance that you'll find is very much a great alternative to CH Men Privé. This next fragrance that I can easily recommend as an excellent alternative to CH Men Privé is one that I personally really enjoy just for the warm leather appeal. Whether you're an aficionado of leather or not, everyone can really enjoy the high quality appeal of Boss Bottled Parfum. Along with being a great cold weather standalone fragrance, Boss Bottled Parfum has some similar qualities to CH Men Privé. They both share the trifecta of frankincense, cedarwood, and leather. Although there's a little bit of iris in here, it's not so much an iris-centered fragrance as it is a leather-oriented fragrance, and the darker side of leather. But it's very fresh, warm, spicy kind of leather, very much reminiscent of CH Men Privé. So if you haven't tried out Boss Bottled Parfum, I definitely recommend it, especially as an alternative to CH Men Privé. Another quick, easy alternative to CH Men Privé, and a lot of people agree with this one, is one from the car manufacturer Bentley. It is Bentley For Men Intense. There are some that have an issue with the strength of this fragrance, at least in the open, but I would say this fragrance is not one of those that lives within the realm of its open. You gotta let that very strong, that very pungent open die down a bit, and then you start getting into the dry kind of leather boozy combination, which brings it within the realm of a great alternative to CH Men Privé. So don't be put off by the open of Bentley For Men Intense. It isn't as intense in the mid to the dry down. The longevity is there, the performance is definitely there. That punch in your face of leather and booze dies down quite a bit after the open, and then you're left with a really nice leather-oriented alternative to CH Men Privé. All right, guys, so now that we've gotten those fragrances that are most reminiscent of CH Men Privé out of the way, these few here are going to have the least qualities about them, but they still have qualities and might be a good alternative for you. This next one is just a very fresh take on leather that is not only citrus-oriented, it's also a nice casual, semi-formal take on the note of leather. It is Ferragamo Intense Leather. Ferragamo Intense Leather surprised me how good of a leather-oriented fragrance that it is, and it just carries that leather note on into a 6, 7, 8 hour, super nice to have, and a great leather-oriented alternative to CH Men Privé. Still focusing on the note of leather, a very fresh leather, a lesser-known alternative to CH Men Privé is by Michael Kors. It is Extreme Journey. Guys, this is a fantastic line, and this actually happens to be the last, so far, the last flanker in the line, and Extreme Journey is one of my favorites. It will put you in mind of a Terre d'Hermès-like fragrance as well, so if you like Terre d'Hermès, you'll really enjoy this. You're looking at a great combination of like pink pepper, patchouli, cedar, and leather, and so the leather central focus of this fragrance is what's going to put you in mind of CH Men Privé, and also what recommends it as a fantastic alternative. Last of the 10 fragrances that I can recommend that if you like CH Men Privé, this will make a fantastic alternative, is one that's just a bit more on the sweet gourmand side, which of course CH Men Privé is not a gourmand fragrance, but this fragrance does share qualities of booziness. It has a quality masculine manly rum in it, as well as some resins like elemi, and it is stronger with you absolutely. Yet another hype beast. I don't have to talk this up much or recommend it too much because you're probably already aware of it, but you may not have ever thought of CH Men Privé while wearing this. Yet another great date night fragrance that shares some similarities to CH Men Privé. So while it doesn't share the bad boy leather vibe that CH Men Privé promotes, this promotes another side of that same seductive coin in a very gourmand way. And it's just a fantastic all-around flanker, one of the best in the line. Stronger with you, absolutely. Well guys, that's it for my short list of 10 fragrances that if you like CH Men Privé, I can wholly recommend these as great alternatives. If you've tried any of them out yourself, let everyone know in the comments below which one is your favorite, or if I've missed one or two or more in this list that are very similar to CH Men Privé, let everyone know what those are as well. Always looking for good quality alternatives to fragrances that have been discontinued. Guys, thanks so much for tuning into my channel today and checking out today's video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed doing it for you, and please don't forget to comment your thoughts on these fragrances and give your fellow aficionados some ideas of alternatives for CH Men Privé. As always, thank you so much for your continued support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video review.